Never intentionally stayed up late? That's like, it seems alien to me. I love staying up late. I don't, I usually am on a regular schedule these days, but I still love staying up late. Um, on that note, my wife was actually, for those of you who don't know, my wife's from Poland, so she was actually in Poland for almost 2 weeks recently. She was doing some classes and stuff. She had to do finals there and visiting her family and a few things. So I was on my own for 2 weeks, and so I was curious like what my schedule would turn into if I would revert to my old, you know, college era schedule of just like staying up later and later and later and just like coding all night and sleeping all day and stuff like that. But I actually didn't get too bad. I was staying up till like 2 or 3 in the morning. I guess that's maybe maybe that's kind of bad. So anyway, I'm a night person. So Rabbit Boom, I take it you're not a night person if you're mentioning you never stay up late. Okay, here's the crowd. Sup? Welcome to Coffee with Eric. I'm curious how many new people are here. I'm always curious, like every week, how many folks show up for like their first time and like what the heck is this? Why are we just talking about nothing? Oh, okay, that's reasonable. 11 p.m. Oh, I've been good. I've been very busy. I can't believe it's been 3 weeks already. I've been doing these every 3 weeks for a little while now. Um, I keep thinking at some point, once there's more fun modding stuff I can share, then I'll probably, hopefully, pick up back to maybe 2 weeks or who knows, at some point, maybe even 1 week. But um, maybe not. I don't know. 1 week seems like a lot just because if I think about this mathematically and in terms of like, time I have to work on stuff, it does take a chunk out of the Wednesday and then like trying to get the YouTube up and stuff. It doesn't take that much time, but it does like, it slows down my coding by a noteworthy small percentage. So that's why I feel every few weeks is good. Always good to chat with you folks, play some mods and just regular mode and everything like that. Well, I hope you're. I know it's late for a lot of y'all because it seems like the majority of folks are over in Europe and Asia and everything. I'm here in California, so it's 10 a.m. here, nice and early. Don't like the new U. Oh, sorry to hear that. I know the UI, the UI revamp it's a bit controversial, I suppose. I know it's a bit different. Having some of the buttons in the corners and things like that. Just to explain, part of my reason for that is more so. I know it doesn't necessarily fit with the existing UI in all cases. It's a little weird that some stuff is here and some stuff is like down here or over here or whatever. It's more for, I think it'll probably make more sense once squads mode comes out. And, the idea is to have different UIs where maybe most of the major things are at the bottom. So like, I'll probably just have to show you and not explain it. But the idea of just like kind of switching modes in the game with buttons down here and then up here is more just like the start game button or like the configure button. So it's a little bit, right now it seems a little bit weird where it's like half this old UI in the middle and then half like UI at the bottom and stuff. But there's a reason for things, so bear with me. Also, there are some nice things about just the system in general. I like it. Just the fact that you can like bounce around from one place to another. You don't have to, there's not like one hierarchy of windows. You don't have to go always through the same stack there. You can just be like, okay, now I want to go to the store. Now I want to go to inventory, which is still very ugly and simplistic. Need to make that better. So anyway, long story long. I appreciate any feedback on the UI. Especially, oh, whoops, I have an unclaimed prize. My little nag thing is working. What did I get? Yeah, okay. But yeah, always appreciate feedback. Like I said, I think this UI stuff in a technical standpoint is better. It's just, it might, from a experience standpoint, it might feel weird to people a little bit, but I'm confident it'll lead us to a better place. Just give it a bit more time. We'll see. Customization, color, shape, even materials? Like, in what sense? For, like, the UI? Or just game in general? Did people that originally buy BS Pro get compensation? No, but they still have everything that BS Pro gave them, like all the character unlocks and everything like that. Um, Basically, BS Pro disappearing. Well, on that note, BS Pro will be kind of reappearing in a different form. It's just going to be more like a changing thing. So if you haven't heard, my plan is to have it'll be instead of like a single BS Pro, there'll just be kind of like a season Pro pass or a season Pro bundle or something like that, where it's just a hopefully new character or new skin or new variation of a character, a few new things. Maybe once per season or something. There's a little thing you can unlock for probably some tokens. So that's the plan going forward. So it's even though Pro is technically still in there, by the way. If you still want to get like the bundle of characters that Pro unlocks, which is still kind of a good deal. If you come down here, I demonstrated this before, but it's like what is it? Import BA base. I think it's like BA base.purchase Pro. It's in here somewhere. What is it? BA base underscore? Okay, well, I'd have to dig around, but somewhere in there, if you dig through the Python files a little bit, there you can still purchase Pro. It's just not exposed in the store at the moment. But like I said, I'm very slow. I keep getting all these side quests, but I do want to bring back essentially what Pro was, which was just a little bundle pack or something. And I know I understand it being a bit frustrating if you bought Pro and then some of the stuff that was in Pro is now free. But I'm trying not to make stuff too unfair, but it's like the game. I do have to evolve the game, and so it's never going to feel 100%. It's like that at any time with, you buy a new computer and you get it and then they announce the upgrade, like the better processor version, like a week later, you just feel kind of cheated, so I understand. Why are there no name restrictions? Named myself Diddy. Oh, are you talking for account tags? Right now, so the state of the world there on account tags is, there are some basic technical restrictions, like tags have to be such and such in length, and only alphanumeric characters can't start with a number. I forgot exactly the rules. It'll tell you if you break one, but I haven't done anything in terms of like watching for curse words or things like that. But that is still very much planned. As the V2 stuff gets more more social, as there's more as your name gets more like visible to other players, I do intend to have some sort of like report button or something like that, maybe tied into some AI that will, if they ask like ChatGPT automatically, like, is this name seem controversial? And if ChatGPT is like yes, then maybe it would like flag your name or tell you to change it or something like that. That's still upcoming. So right now, if you're trying to get away with having a curse word in your name, you can probably do it for at least a while longer. But the intention is to cut down on that at some point. So just a heads up. I mean, it's not going to like ban you or anything like that. It'll probably just like change your name to like Fluffy Penguin or whatever, and you'll have to come up with a new one. Burp, burp, burp. Not that Diddy is a forbidden word. I assume that's just the whole like Diddy trial controversy, something, whatever. Spaz plushie win. That is still the top of my wish list. I know that this has come up before, somewhat jokingly, but also somewhat realistically. I would love to have a Spaz plushie on my couch, or in my bed, or all of the above. I need to get a Spaz plushie made at some point. Dev updates has been dead for 2 weeks. Yes, Dev has not been dead for 2 weeks. I've been deving my little heart out. It's just all on master server stuff. So sorry to make dev updates boring. But on the master server front, there has been a lot of work. So that's yeah, on that note, it's been somewhat side quests and somewhat intended work. So I have been working on getting the pieces in place for like the official Discord support stuff. Now that there's kind of you did the well. Thank you again for wiring up um, the library and all that. So I have been trying to update my like build system to be able to automatically download the latest Discord libraries and kind of have that better integrated in my builds so that test builds can go out with Discord support, Android build can go out with Discord support. Um, when I started doing that, though, I realized I wanted to wire it up to like Google Cloud Storage so that all that stuff, a lot of my build stuff, instead of doing it in a janky way, I'm doing it where it's just like on one server that hopefully will not go down someday. I'm trying to have more things go through Google Cloud Storage where it's more, it should be safer, more scalable, things like that. And then that made me realize after I was looking through that, it made me realize that my the V2 master server, I set it up in Los Angeles in one of like Google's, they have a number of locations throughout the world, a number in the US. I just picked Los Angeles because it was close to me. But then I was looking through like pricing and things, and I realized that it makes much more sense to run the whole thing in the middle of the US. It's like 15% cheaper. Sometimes in the Google Cloud Storage case, there's some cases where it's like half the price, and they have a lot more infrastructure there. So long story short, I decided to move the entire V2 master server from Los Angeles to Iowa in the US. So that has sucked up a lot of my time in the last few weeks. Again, another side quest. I'm very guilty of falling for these. But as of last night at about 7 p.m., it's basically moved over. So I moved all, 5 million accounts, 5 million this and that, like millions and millions of database entries are now living in Iowa instead of Los Angeles. So on that note, if hopefully it was pretty seamless. I did it without, there were little bits of downtime here and there, but hopefully everything is intact. There's probably a handful of accounts that like lost like a tag change or something. Like it reverted to a tag that they had like a half an hour ago. So if you have any weirdness with your account, if you were online like last night or about 12 hours ago and like your tag change got lost or something, I apologize. If there's any problems with any accounts, let me know, but everything should be running. Seems the accounts or the server seems responsive. Everything is working. And the cool thing is, while I was doing this, while I was converting everything over to run in Iowa, I wound up like converting the architecture a little bit. So it's now running on what's called like Google Cloud Run, which is like this Docker container-based thing, and I have much more control than I did before. So I've tuned the server to be much faster. I don't know if you ever notice, but just bouncing around the website is like pretty instantaneous now. Before, a lot of times there was like a 1 second delay or something for a lot of requests, but now it's pretty darn speedy. So I'm pretty excited. This doesn't really matter for most things, but once we start going with like workspaces and stuff like that, like having it be as fast as possible should be real nice. So anyway, that's that. So yeah, Ballistica.net is now on a completely different server than it was last time. I've been spending a lot of time looking at graphs like this. Like this is the Cloud Run graph, just showing, just like how my containers are behaving, this and that, how many requests coming in, checking out like latency spikes, things like that. So this stuff is super fun. I've been learning a bit about Docker and things. I had not really played with Docker before. So this is, lots of fun graphs. Hooray. So anyway, okay. All right. Enough about nerdy tech stuff, but that's what I've been up to. Also, in another note, like, I can't really reveal too much about this, but I'll tell you guys more coming up soon, but basically there will be a fun, I'm aiming for a fun little release in September. So it's kind of partnering with a company you all know. Again, I will reveal more soon, but this gives me like a good opportunity to try to focus and get as far as I can by September for this thing. So I don't know if that'll mean 1.8 is done or at least just close to it or whatnot, but again, more coming up on that soon. But this is the first time in a while that I've kind of had a little partnership sort of thing where I'm working with a company kind of. So that's fun. Partnering. When I say partnering, I mean not basically like I'm working on something for the game to incorporate something that they are doing. But in this case, I think I've been kind of avoiding that kind of stuff for a few years. I used to do that a lot where, I would work with like Google or NVIDIA or whatever to, it's great opportunities. But, I'd like add something to the game or like optimize it for a particular thing they were doing. And I've kind of been avoiding that for a while because it was fun, but it also can slow me down if it's something that's not really important to the game. But in this case, it is something that is an upcoming feature of the game that is important. So this is a good opportunity for me to kind of light a little fire under my own butt and get working a little faster on the particular part. So yeah, we will see. Is this intended? Wait, what? This is a good question. Intended behavior, ads in other games can't be closed. Are you referring to all ads or... yeah, I guess I should look into that. Is that rewarded ads or all ads? Yeah, I should check in that because it should be like all ad. You shouldn't be able to skip out of all ads or normal ads, but it's likely you are able to, and I probably should fix that. I am actually drinking coffee. Rabid coffee, nice. Yes, coffee is necessary. No, it's not necessary, but it's my comfort blanket. Okay, all ads. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I'll see if I can fix that at least because for like rewarded ads, that's kind of like a choice. If you want to watch a rewarded ad, you should be able to skip out of that. But the other ones, as much as I hate to be annoying, it's like that's kind of how people who don't buy anything in the game. That's kind of how you pay for the game, is just like being forced to watch some ads. Sorry. So yeah, I probably should make sure that's actually kind of slightly forcing you to watch the ads. But yeah, thanks for the heads up. I will look into that. I have. I actually did get. I shouldn't say too much. Recently I did get a very vague offer. It was just an email, but just like offering to buy the game. I have no idea if that was like legit or. But it was like, but I have no interest in selling the game. This is like I'm having too much fun. This is my baby. So. I mean, they always say like everyone has a price. If someone came and said like, "We'll buy your game for $1 billion," it's like, would I be able to say no to that? I don't know, but especially since it's all open source, I could kind of like sell the game and then just like fork the open source part and make it again, just like change the change the textures. Not to give anyone else ideas, but no, I guess I would have to. I guess like the master server and all the networking components at this point are probably a pretty big part of it. So I guess that I wouldn't really be able to fork because that part is not open source. Maybe I should open source that. Eric, you need a dev team. I like doing this myself at the moment. We'll see. We'll see if it gets to the point where I mentioned before, like if it right now, like the game's been, I feel like it's been in like a sweet spot where it makes enough money to like for me to support myself, but it's not. I almost feel like if it made too much money, then I would almost feel obligated to get a dev team or scale it up or something. But in a way, I kind of don't want that. It's nice to keep it a bit lighthearted or a bit not. I don't want to say not serious, but a little like doing it for fun. I think that's important for a game. Something like a game is, I think, fun needs to be an important part and not just like we need to increase our market share by scientifically engineering the most addictive thing, stuff like that. I just at the end of the day, I do want it to still be something that is, I think of as like a fun hobby. Oh, university entrance exam tomorrow. Cool. Well, good luck with the exam, and then you're free the rest of the summer. Oh shoot. I don't know if you think of something fun. uh, Man, yeah, I'll have to think on that a little bit. Like I said, at the immediate moment, like most of my work has been on the master server side and things like that. There's probably some fun project with the client, if or yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, if you throw out any ideas, if you can think of any. Oh, is good old GOG? Do people say GOG or good old games? Like, how do you actually pronounce when you're saying that? You just say GOG. Cat. I should add a cat character. Yeah. I feel like I'm always tickled at how many requests I've gotten for like animal characters in general. And so I feel like cat is like the quintessential internet animal, you know? So like, how is there not a cat in there at this point? Like that would be hilarious. Probably also, I feel like cats are kind of polarizing. Like there's cat people that just love cat videos and things like that. And then there's the people that are just like annoyed by the cat people. So I feel like a cat character would be very polarizing, and that like half the people would love it and the other half would just like intentionally go after it every game or something. So it'd be fun. Baby spasm. Oh man, so many ideas. Oh, I do need a dev team. I just need a making new characters team. Yeah, forget like the dev part. Just I need a team to make Baby Spaz and Baby Pascal and the cat. We need a name for that. Like, what's a good cat name? I have been kind of sticking to, there's always the rule, not a rule, but like old animated cartoons, like all those characters, it's always like the same letter, like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. So, I've tried to stick with like Pascal Penguin. Um, so, what's a good cat name that starts with a C? Or maybe a K? El Gato. I like that actually. That. Well, that starts making me. I do want to add, like a Latin American inspired character, because there's so many players in like South America and Mexico and things like that. I want to get something in there for that crew. It could be the cat character, like El Gato, but then that makes me think that starts taking me in like a Puss in Boots direction with like Antonio Banderas, and I don't want to copy that too much, or maybe I don't know. It could be a homage. Oh, Italian cat. Okay. Gelato. That is creative. Gelato. El Galato. Yeah. A cat that like eats ice cream. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, everyone keep brainstorming on cat ideas. We can have like a contest or something. If you submit the winning cat name, you get a gold pass or something. I don't know. I am curious. Any of you folks in non-English languages, like, have the character names in the game bounced around a lot? I'm When people submit translations, I'm always trying to kind of keep an eye on them and avoid, people that are just changing all the names and going too crazy with it. But there are still some that come through that do change names, so it's hard for me to tell. But has that been like annoying or good or bad? Like, has your favorite character like turned from a good name into a bad name or things like that? I'm wondering if I should lock those down or something. Are we getting cat language? My 4 years of Spanish in high school is like it's still in there somewhere, but it's not very good. I feel like I can like 20% understand Spanish. Oh, merge and push this. Yes, I believe believe it is. Let me think. Let me just check right now. Let's do some a little live coding exercise. Where is my terminal? Okay, I must have a terminal window that I'm not seeing hiding around here somewhere, but okay. Let's get internal. Oh, whoa, okay. Let me pull the latest languages. Let me just do a pub sync right now. So I'm going to push whatever I have out to public. Y'all can watch me see how that works. All right, we're pulling the latest languages from the server. PF, which is pre-flight. This is basically just running all tests, making sure everything's updated. Okay, so I'm going to do this in the background while I'm chatting with y'all. Mr. Sock, howdy. Leopard. That could work, but I feel like tigers and leopards, does that, I don't know if that like quite satisfies cat people. I feel like cat people want like a cute kitty cat, you know? I mean, unless it's like a very cutesy done like leopard or tiger or lion or something, but I kind of, in my mind, those are like two different categories. There's like a lion and there's like a kitty cat. What do you guys think? Wait, what? Stop cooking. What? I'm not cooking.
Good.
Good. Okay, cool. It also yells good at me when it's done checking. Okay, now descriptive commit name is always good. Okay, so I'm pushing stuff to my internal repo. So this is internal bomb squad stuff. Boink, boink, boink. And now, whoops. Nope, not that one. Let's go over to Fro Mini. It's my little Mac Mini that I use as a build server. Burp, burp, burp. Boink. Tell it to like pull everything from everywhere. Stuff is happening. This is not a VM. This is just this is a VNC connection over to my Mac Mini that is sitting under my cabinet. I probably could use like AWS for this stuff, but currently like the Mac instances on AWS are kind of crummy because you have to rent them like a day at a time or something, unless that's changed. So that makes that not really viable. Live pub sync. Okay. Now, if everything is in good shape, this will churn for a while, and then eventually everything will show up on GitHub. If it's not in good shape, then I might have to do it later. Yeah, the whole like pub sync thing, it's just like this weird, not hacky, but it's this process that basically kind of like bakes out all the binary bits and then merges my internal repository with like the public GitHub repository. So it's basically just pushing my private stuff up to GitHub, or the baked out version of it, and also syncing stuff back in. So any commits that come in through the public repo, this will pull those into the private repo. So here it's building all the binaries and stuff. Is API 10 going to surprise us? So the thing with APIs is I really did not want API 9 to happen. It just kind of seemed like necessary since I had tweaked the UI just a bit more than I maybe could have. Well, no, it's in a much better place now, I think. So it was probably worth it. But like the whole reason I've been doing all the like breaking the game out into all these what are called feature sets. If you notice all these things like, whoops, source, like all these things, base, classic, core, plus, like these are all called feature sets. And the idea here is that I should be able to add more feature sets and then leave the existing ones in mostly untouched, which should mean that we don't have to do like bump API versions anymore. It'll more just be like, okay, there's scene v2, and now there's scene v3, or there's UI v2, but all the stuff that is still using like UI v1 or whatever, hopefully that can stay pretty much constant. So the whole reason that like API versions existed is like when I changed a bunch of stuff, this basically intentionally breaks all plugins out there so that they know that they have to change it to update to for the new stuff that I've made, the changes I've made. But yeah, hopefully with these feature sets, it means that I won't have to bump API version ever, or very rarely, if so. Also, I was mentioning a few episodes ago about the idea of like coming up with some more graceful API version thing where if we bumped API version to 10, then API 9 stays functional. It just tells you like, oh, hey, you need to update your stuff to 10, but like you'll still be able to run 9 stuff. So there would always be like one overlapping version. I kind of feel like if I do continue to use API version, like that would be good, because the thing that's terrible now is that like when I bump that, it's like instantly destroys all mods. It's like when the API version gets bumped, then like literally no mods work until they're updated. So I'd like to get away from that situation. So if I can't just rely on feature sets for things, then I think it would be great to have the kind of overlapping versions like that. So anyway, long story long. What was the original question? Oh yeah, well, that API 10 will hopefully not surprise you, and hopefully not break things if it happens at all. Okay, all right, this thing is still going. Go, go, go. By the end of this, so this is basically pushing the game out or pushing builds out to these different repos. It's building the game on some beefy AWS instance. It's building it also on some other beefy like Windows AWS instance, some beefy ARM instance on AWS. It's also building a few on itself here, like my ARM Mac. It's also pushing it over to one of my old Macs and building an x86 Mac version. That's the one that, if you remember, I had taken that one out of rotation because that was the slowest build. But I put it back because people were asking about it and still used it. So by the end of this, we'll probably just be watching that old x86 Mac. That'll be the last thing we're waiting for here. Ooh, let's see this. What? Big squishy things. That look not quite sure what all that stuff is, but that looks awesome. Super cool. Yeah, we gotta get back to like playing some mods and stuff. It's been a bit. It's my own fault for being stuck on all this kind of boring server stuff for so much of my time, but I'm getting through it. Cool. Yeah, thanks for the update. I've been very bad with my online presence lately. I mean, I'm always bad, but yeah, I've been mostly heads down, especially with the server stuff. And then also with this cool super secret opportunity that's coming up. That's probably gonna keep me pretty heads down for at least the next few weeks, trying to get that stuff in a good place. But again, that's good because it's forcing me to make progress on 1.8/1.9 stuff. So. But yeah, keep us posted, Mr. Sock, as you get closer. Especially when you get a release, we definitely got to play. So give us give everyone a heads up. I can download the final release when it's ready and get set before we do a coffee. Cool. Yeah, it'd be awesome to see a good trailer. I'm realizing at some point coming up here. I mean, as 2.0 approaches, like I need to do some new trailers and things too. I know we were talking about that recently, but it's been a while. I gotta dust off my Adobe After Effects skills or whatnot. I think I asked you before, Sock. What do you use for trailers? Like what, or things like that, or just you guys in general for throwing together fun YouTube videos and things you're making? Like what software do you use for that? Cool, cool. Issue 823 on GitHub. Do you have a link handy? I guess I could poke around and find it, or you can just mention what it is here. Happy to chat about it. I know I'm bad. If any of you folks like want to help clean up GitHub issues or something, if I can give folks permissions or anything like that, I know I'm not great. I sometimes respond to some, and I'd like to you know, I'd love to go through and respond to everyone, but it's just one of those things where I'm very limited on bandwidth. What was I doing? Okay, checking GitHub. Eight two three. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, I should look into this. Like, I would be curious if there's something I should be doing. Oh, I was going to bust out my Android phone and show. Like, in my case, on my Pixel 7 here, it does use the full screen, including, like, displaying behind the camera. I'm curious why it doesn't here, or I'm curious if there is, like, an API that I can use to tell it I want to show there, or something, like, some optional thing. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Does not cover the game does not cover the front camera, and the same happen. So there's a black bar here, but not a black bar here. Like I'm yeah, I'd be curious too. Is that a setting on the phone or regardless? I should in cases like this, if my game's not doing stuff that other games are doing better, like I definitely want to fix it. It's always it's kind of a moving target with Android. They're always changing stuff, like how full screen behaves or toolbars behave, and then there's always like so many versions you got to kind of deal with. So it's I'm always trying to aim for something that does the right thing in most cases, but it seems hard to get it right in all cases. But if there is some sort of like switch or some flag that I'm not passing along, certainly want to do that. This also reminds me I need to get just the Android version open sourced, at least enough of it so people can build their own build like this and play around with this stuff themselves. I'd love to get, that would help some, ambitious folks could make builds themselves and show me like, hey, if I add this flag, look how full screen behaves. It's way better, stuff like that. Plus it's just fun to tinker with this stuff. So part of the reason, it's mostly just because I'm slow, but part of the reason I haven't done that is just to avoid making it easier for people to cheat in tournaments and things like that. But as online stuff finally comes into play there, that'll be less and less of an issue. Okay, we're almost done over here. PubSync takes a minute, even though this is a pretty fast machine. I think it might have actually been done with the sync, and now it's pushing out to my spin-off projects. I am not sure. Completing PubSync. Almost done. Burp, burp, burp. Okay, PubSync completed successfully. All right, thank you for a mini. Now, just to make sure, if we come over to GitHub, burp, burp, burp. Yeah, live PubSync. So, yay, it made it. I'm curious how much stuff, how many changes were in here. Okay, some library bumps, some weird word wrapping tweaks. Nothing important at the moment. Oh yeah, I added some little, this is in like one of my common libraries, Data Classio. I added this like get type cached thing to speed up some stuff. That was actually for I did that for like my master server thing, but that library is shared in other places. Some cleanup. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't look like anything major. So Era, if you'd like to, yeah, if you'd like to sync anything over, push anything over, or whatever, now is the time. Feel free. We're all clear. Ooh. That's cool. Like it. Will that actually be in the game, or is this just more like character art? Like, are you doing actually sprite-based stuff on the characters somehow? Or yeah, how does that work? Bomb Squad icon made me nightmare randomly. Oh no! It's supposed to be just smiley and happy and friendly. Oh, bummer. It is funny that yeah, like things that can give us nightmares when we're kids and stuff. When I was growing up, I had this poster of a bear in my room, and I feel like that poster of a bear gave me nightmares. It was just this bear like standing there. It was like a realistic drawing of a bear, and it was just like, oh gosh. I would never, as an adult or a parent, I never would have, not that I'm a parent, but like I feel like I would never guess that would give a kid nightmares. But yeah, things are, yeah, unpredictable. Ah. So that looks like something that could give you a nightmare. Two game logic things that need changing again. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, in general, oh yeah, this brings up another point. Is as of a few weeks ago, like that the issue on Android where like you couldn't leave the game with your current character, that should all be fixed. Is everyone seeing that? Like, if you use the touch screen to leave the game, like you should be able to leave again. Is that working for everybody? Um, y'all know what I'm talking about? Yay. Okay. But yeah, were there other outstanding things? I know stuff kind of gets lost in the shuffle sometimes. Were there any? If anyone wants to like bring up outstanding broken stuff that needs to be fixed, feel free to. Oh yeah, yeah. There is flag sounds or just like impact sounds, right? Like impact sounds in general are not working right now. Or are you referring to something else with flag sounds? Um, I wish I could remember what it was. I think it was maybe like it was one of the big like graphical updates or something. I think I wound up like turning off impact sounds for some reason. Like I was changing something technically, and it was like, okay, I'll just we can go without these for a moment. I'll get the back on soon. And I think I never turned them back on. So I probably should go and figure out what that was. Arabic language be added in Windows version soon. That is a good question. It is definitely on the to-do list. I know that is number one on the Windows to-do list. Definitely, certainly needs to be in there before I do any sort of soft launch on Steam or anything like that. And it's really, yeah. I mean, it'd probably be honestly a few days of work. Probably, I imagine. Knowing myself, what's going to happen is like when I start to implement that, I'm going to probably think like, oh man, I really should take this opportunity and clean up my text rendering setup, and it'll probably turn into a slight side quest. So I'm guessing that'd be a few days to like a week or something like that to get text in a good place. It's more just like when do I slot that in? Because technically it's not needed until Steam Windows version, which is slotted for 2.0. But there's so many people that bring it up. I do feel the pressure to try to get in there sooner, maybe. But yeah, skidding sounds, impact sounds, like all those collision-based sounds, those are, yeah, currently broken. Ooh, JRMP port progress. Nice. How's that going? Do you have like a progress bar? Or like, do you know, where would you say you are in terms of getting that done? Or playable, or, to a good, what am I, waypoint? No, good, brain fart. One of those terms, like a milestone. That's it. Onslaught modded gameplay. What have we here? Talking about all these like strategies, and people figure out for pro players like what is the best strategy. I was reading about this topic the other day, just in general with games, and it was some article, or it was showing like the game basketball. It was showing how it's kind of been over time. It's turned into almost a science of it's evolved to like the most efficient form of itself. It was showing basically a map of like where people would take shots from in basketball, and in like 1970 there were like dots all over the map, like, or all over the court. People would just shoot the basketball from wherever, and then it showed like today, and it's basically all the dots have converged on like 4 or 5 very specific places where I'm sure they've run the numbers, and like those are statistically the best shots or places to shoot from. So it's kind of interesting how like just the concept of games kind of, or anything competitive, kind of getting distilled down to the exact optimal thing, just makes me wonder, is there any way to avoid that? Or, like if, like shuffle things around enough that there's never, the people still want to be creative and try different things, and there's never like, oh, this is the ultimate strategy, you have to do this because it succeeds 5% more than the other thing. I don't know. It's just a random thing I was thinking about. Yeah, seeing some cool looking little power-ups here. Kind of like half talking, half watching here. Don't mind me. You can get Mario Karted? What does Mario Karted mean? Anyone getting bored of Bomb Squad, I apologize. It's I know the game itself hasn't changed outwardly in years, essentially. It's mainly under the hood stuff. My hope is still that will lead to a renaissance of all sorts of new mods and ability to add fun new stuff. But yeah, I can totally understand, like at some point the game feels like, oh, I've played this before. I did. I joined, I don't know what some random public server I joined a few weeks ago I was just gonna like test something, and then I just got instantly kicked out. Which is, I don't know, to me that's funny. That's why I need to make my lightning bolt button, that I can, if you kick me out, I can smite you. Okay, be skillful, there's still power-ups that make you lose. Yeah, it's, that's an interesting name for it. I do feel like it's an important aspect where, like, if there's, like, the Mario Kart factor, like, if there's no Mario Kart factor, I almost feel like that's kind of boring, because, like, if it's purely skill-based, like, the same person's going to win over and over again. Sometimes. What are these? These funny textured bombs. I'm trying to see what those are. But yeah, if there's too little Mario Kart factor, then yeah, I kind of feel like that makes things boring because, yeah, it just feels like you have no chance. But if there's too much Mario Kart factor, then I think that makes things kind of crummy for pro players or people that are like really good, because then it's like, yeah, this is all random anyway. So I don't know. I feel like there's some happy medium sweet spot. I do feel like Mario Kart is, not that I play a ton of Mario Kart, but I feel like, well, I don't know. How do you guys, any Mario Kart players, do you guys feel like Mario Kart is too Mario Karty? Like, do you feel like it rewards, or, you know, it compensates too much for skill level, like too many blue shells, things like that? I remember used to play, probably peak Mario Kart for me was back in my college days, Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube. If anyone's played that, it's where, you know, there's two players on a single kart, so like there's a driver and a gunner, and you can like switch around. But yeah, Baby Park, it was like this real small course. It's still in new Mario Karts, but it came out in Double Dash. And I remember I'd play that with my roommates, and I think like for some of us the strategy was just like sit there and do nothing and let everyone like pass you or like get way ahead of you, and then just start playing, and you'll just get like blue shell after blue shell after blue shell because you're so far behind. And if you time it right, you can just like basically, or you get blue shells or, you know, whatever other power-ups, maybe stars, like star after star after star. And like if you time it right, you can win the game by just like letting yourself get behind at the beginning. Yeah, I feel like that's a good example of the Mario Kart factor being too high. Very easy to stay in 24th place, being in first place? But yeah, oh man, Double Dash was good. I miss Double Dash. At some point I bought a GameCube just for nostalgia so I could play Double Dash and all that. Then I sold it at some point when I moved, changed apartments, I think. So I should have kept it though. Dang it. That's another good point, is like, I guess if games can, this goes back to the old discussion about like making games good for like new people versus making them good for like pro, you know, people that have been playing a long time. So maybe that's a good solution, is just like to have the Mario Kart-isms, but then have a way to turn them off. You know, if you want strictly skill-based stuff, or for like tournament type situations. No one wants to feel that they won a tournament just because like they got a blue shell at the last minute or something. Or I don't know, maybe it doesn't bother some people. There's always going to be some random factor. I mean, in Bomb Squad, I feel like the physics kind of does that to a degree. It's like, even if you're good, like there's still going to be weird random physicsy moments where for whatever reason you just flip off to the side because you hit a corner strangely or something. And you can like try to, you know, to a degree you can control things, but there's still a bit of chaos there. But I kind of like that. It just, unfortunately, it's not chaos that I can like turn off. It's like once you introduced physics-based chaos, it's kind of like it's there. It's part of the rules, you know. World record for the last stand. I don't actually know. I mean, any records that I'm aware of should be public. There's like the old. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say like what, if there is like a single legit record or anything, because I mean there's been cheaters and hackers over the years, and then there's like score thresholds now where it's like if you pass that threshold it will just assume you're cheating or assume you're hacking, but maybe there's been someone who has passed that threshold. Yeah, so there's not like a definitive answer here. Like that will be cool, I think, in the new world. I think with squads mode, once we can actually have competitive single player stuff running on cloud servers, once the lag situation works well there, you know, I feel like that could be a great opportunity to like store those records, or, you know, it'd be great to even like store the replay, you know, of that. Like, here you can watch like the best all-time ever last stand play, you know, or whatever. That'd be super cool. Um, I'm wondering if there's some way to, like, something I was looking into for, running all the servers on AWS is there some way I could bake that stuff down to like videos or something like that? Because if the server is hosting the game, the server will have replays, and then the server theoretically could convert that to a video. I mean, it could also just keep the replay file around, but there's always a chance that replay file won't be playable later, whereas like a video always will be. So it'd be kind of cool for like record situations if we just like, or even like automatically uploaded it to YouTube or something, like the top records for the day. Like that'd be cool. Oh, see ya, Sock. Or Sock, are you leaving or are you waving to someone else? Oh, hello, Cristobal. Architect. Okay, cool. Thank you. I will sync everything back. Show you guys how that works here real quick. Tools, Peakman, pub sync, auto. All right, this should basically sync everything back from GitHub. Test it before merging. What? Too late. If it's something bad, we can fix it. Fro Mini is my little Mac Mini that lives in the corner under my cabinet. So he's a very hard worker. He does lots of CI builds and other things for me. I found, like in recent years, I found it's super useful to have, just like a little server I can access from anywhere on the internet. So if I'm at a coffee shop or whatever, and I have crappy internet, I can still, push some commit up to GitHub and then have Fro Mini here back at home run all the bandwidth intensive stuff of like pushing builds out here and there. So it makes it much more freeing. I can like work from anywhere as opposed to, I don't need to be somewhere with fast internet basically. So it's kind of nice. It's been a fun way to work. Is like, this is my little helper machine. Yeah, rollback is possible. I should have a more regimented like testing routine of making sure changes up in the GitHub are working well before pushing out updates. But at the same point, like if I push out a bad update, I can just push out a fix update like an hour later. I've definitely done that. What is under Spaz helmet? That is a good question. We'll find out at some point, maybe. That should be that'd be a fun. Just like there should be a season where like all the new customized or the new stuff in the store would just be nothing but like Spaz without his helmet in different forms, like bald Spaz, like crazy hippie hair Spaz, like perm Spaz, Bob Ross Spaz, blonde messy hair. Okay. We could do if there's like canonical Spaz hair, we should do or like cornrow Spaz. I don't know. Yeah, this could be anything. We should do a poll, see what people want to see with Spaz. Though I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea. I feel like for creative stuff, doing a poll it feels like creatively bankrupt to me. Wow. I love my Mac Mini. I mean, probably any little portable chunk PC-ish thing. Even like a Raspberry Pi. I mean, those are pretty underpowered, but like the new ones, like a Raspberry Pi 5. I mean, I guess that you can't really use that to make like the Mac Mini, I can only use it for the Mac builds, but just for like CI and stuff, I guess a Raspberry Pi could work in that same way. It is handy to have a little like side buddy. I've definitely been happy since I did that. Oh my gosh, I'm still so slow. Granny character, here she is, still on my desktop in the zip file. Sorry, it's just been side quest after side quest. I've just been doing all this server stuff. Um, so I apologize to Sock, who left already, so he won't hear my apology. But um, yeah, he made that awesome granny character, and I'm just slow to get it out. That is something that, like I said, I have this thing coming up, which the due date will be September. So I would definitely love to have the store revisions in for that. Um, not to, yeah. So that's still like 2 months out. Um, but yeah, I will try to limit my side quests. Finally, get those new store characters up. There's other things too that I'm. Oh my gosh, so many. I need to start cutting down on side quests. this this particular one, this last few weeks. I mean, it was a big one, but like my whole master server migrating that from LA to Iowa, that was a pretty big thing. I tried to convince myself not to do that, but it's just from a financial standpoint, it did make sense because it was literally 15% plus cost savings, and server costs are kind of a big chunk of my budget. So it's like it's hard to say no to a few weeks of work to basically cut down my permanent server costs by 15+%. And plus, it's not even just cutting down costs. It's also like there's more infrastructure there. So, and also I wound up converting it over to a more modern framework, like the whole Docker-based thing. So it was a good improvement and price savings also. So yeah. In this case, there wasn't really a button. The big thing, probably the biggest, scariest thing was the database. So, there's my central server has the big database, which has all the V2 accounts and all the data on it. And that database was, in LA alongside everything else. And so to migrate that database, I basically had a few choices. I could have just like completely shut the game server down for a number of hours and migrated it that way. Like I did something where like the export button, it gave me an estimation, or I saw something where it sounded like it would take maybe like 6 hours if I wanted to just like export the database to cloud storage, move that file over, and then import it to the new database. But I really didn't want to, shut down the master server for 6 hours. So the tricky part was like moving all that data over live. So that's what I did. So I basically just had the servers I had the new server able to talk to the old database like over the internet. And so I essentially just had it going through the database, like reading every, all the different database types. So I can show you what like the type stuff that's in the database. Hopefully this doesn't expose any vulnerabilities here. But yeah, here's my database. Here's all the different collections, everything in the database. So you got account archives, account entitlements, accounts, account sessions, blah, 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 blah. A lot of these things like logins and accounts, there's about 5 million of them. Account sessions, there's about 2 million of those. So millions and millions of things. So basically I just set the new server up so that it would just, in a somewhat smart way, it would go through the entire old database and just copy it to the new database. And I would try to do it in a way where, I would kind of like lock off functionality. So like while it was copying over, some particular thing like, I don't know, account tags, I would try to make it so like you can't change your account tag while this is happening. So, it's basically the tricky part was trying to move all this data while people are using that data. Because like I said, I didn't really want to shut the server down for hours and hours while this was happening. So that was the tricky part. It seemed to go pretty smoothly. Like I said, there were I didn't do it 100% safely, so there probably were some cases where someone like switched their account tag and then they came back the next day and like their account tag is reverted because they switched it on the old database like after I had migrated their account to the new database, stuff like that. But I haven't seen any major fallout from it. It looks like, worst. I think there'll probably be a handful of people that'll just be a little confused that they had to do something twice, but hopefully nothing major. So yeah, that was the tricky thing. Also, other part is, there's a few parts to the server. So there's the central server. It's basically like the instances, like running the Python script that's like serving all the data. So when you're if you go over to ballistica.net, it's literally sending a request to the master server, which is just a big cluster of instances running G Unicorn. And so like the first thing I had to do was switch that from Los Angeles to Iowa. And so that was a kind of a big scary moment where I basically flipped the URL, like retargeted the URL from one server to the other, and then like crossed my fingers. And then like a ton of traffic just disappeared on my old server. And it actually, like, it took a little while. There was the server was actually down for like an hour. I felt bad about that. This was a week or two ago. But then finally the domain name change finally completed. Whoa. Do you also see me? My camera seems to be frozen. You guys still seeing? Are you guys still here? Or do you hear my voice? Okay, interesting. All right. Well then. Okay, that was weird. I switched to a different camera. Let me see if I can switch back. Okay, seems to be back. Yeah, I always do the thing where I like use my phone as a camera because it has a way better camera than like the laptop or my monitor, and it's never actually given any problems until there. That was the first time it's ever like had a hiccup. But anyway, yeah, server migration. Long story long, server migration from LA to Iowa. Yeah, it was like this multi-stage process where first I had to get the servers up in Iowa, but they were still accessing like the old database in LA. And then I had to move all the data from LA to Iowa. There's still like one or two minor things that are running in LA before I can like completely shut that down, but it's basically done. So, and it's so much faster now. I love it. It was definitely worth it. It's cheaper and faster. So it was a chunk of time, but I'm glad I did it. Oh gosh, I think that we are definitely recording. This scary little button up here means we're recording. I imagine it'll be fine. I feel like, I don't know, well, yeah. Knock on wood. Spoiler? Spoiler? What? Spoiler? Ah. Oh. See ya. Anyone leaving? Yeah, I wouldn't think this would mess things up. It's basically just like whatever is, yeah, like this screen should be I don't really know how the low-level windowing subsystem stuff works, but whatever was feeding that camera window seems to temporarily broken, but hopefully the screen is fine. I'm surprised in a way that everything works as well as it does. I mean, I have my camera, or I got my phone plugged in with a USB cable to my monitor, which is plugged in with a Thunderbolt cable to my Mac here. So, there's a few levels everything's going through. So the fact that it works as well as it does is, kind of surprising. Yeah, this is a good point that I could have done something for that migration. I could have done some sort of like in advance notice of like, hey, the server will be down from this hour till this hour. But I just went ahead and did it live. F it, we'll do it live. I just thought about like there's a lot of players that just discover the game organically, and so they would just be booting into the game and they wouldn't be aware of that. I don't know if I'd have some good way that I could. I think I have something in there where like I can wire up like an error message, basically saying, like server is down or whatever, come back in an hour or 2 hours or 5 hours or something. But yeah, it was largely I just didn't want to make people wait around for like 5 hours. Evil Pixar dead rat poster. Like Ratatouille poster? That's not a dead rat. I do my Ratatouille poster is in my other room. I will maybe stream from that other room at some point. That's where all my old stuff is, like my Pixar swag and yeah, my shelf full of old goodies and things like that. Enter fart. What? What's going on? Is it right there would be cloud server? For the game? Like, there already technically are. Like, if that, or can you elaborate on your question? There's like private, if you do like private hosting, stuff like that, that's just running the game on a cloud server. Oh, the add message of server shutdowns. You mean like individual? Well, so the the problem is the inbox system. It requires talking to the master server. So if I shut down the master server, there's no more inbox system. That's why like I said, I think I have a basic mechanism where like when the game spins up and it tries to talk to the master server to like get itself hooked up, I think the master server can return an error, basically saying like, sorry, I can't hook you up right now. Show this error to the user. So I could do that, but that would only be, I think it's only in English, and it would still like, it'd be a bummer to have the game be kind of in a broken state for a few hours anyway. Even if it does like tell you that it's broken or tell you that the servers are down, I'd rather, yeah. It wasn't that scary to migrate the data live, but yeah. If I were a proper company, I probably shouldn't have done that just because there is the chance of something getting a little corrupted or whatever. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I think it was generally safe. I think again, if any of you see any weirdness with your accounts that started last night, let me know. There's it's kind of a trade-off, you know, like being a small indie developer versus like being a proper dev team. You know, like I can kind of take more risks in a way or do something because I feel like I know what to expect a bit more. It's a little bit less scary than it would be if I were dealing with like a team and I didn't know like how exactly things are going to work. Is there no way to shut down servers totally? I mean, I could shut down the master server totally. It's just like then the game it'll do, you know, basically what it does if you launch the game offline. If you have no internet connection, you know, it'll just, certain things won't work. You should still be able to play single player and stuff like that. Let me know if that ever doesn't work, because I want at least like minimal functionality to always be working offline. But yeah, without the master server running, most things, you know, just like the server list and account stuff, like generally won't function. What is happening here? Fun fact. Oh yeah, this was that was controversial. Happy Feet, yeah, it did win Best Animated Feature. I forgot if that was. I think that was right before Ratatouille or something, because I was at Pixar at the time. We were doing Ratatouille, and there's a snide little thing if you stay through the credits on Ratatouille. There's a slightly snarky thing in the credits saying like 100% genuine guarantee, like this is actually animated or something. I think that was basically in response to Happy Feet winning the Academy Award, or you know, that was all kind of the same time. So I think there was a little bit of backlash in the animation community about motion capture being considered animation. It was kind of funny. Though at the same time, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of purists that worked in like hand-drawn 2D animation that probably considered computer animation to be cheating, you know, because it does the in-betweening for you and things like that. Likewise now, I'm sure we're going to be seeing like, you know, the rise of AI-generated or, you know, AI-based production tools and like the first animated movie that's largely generated through AI or something like that. Like there's probably going to be opinions on that too. But it seems like it'll happen, so we'll see. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. It's a blast from the past, the motion capture controversy. I feel like you don't, for whatever reason, I feel like that kind of went away. But I mean, also, also because I'm not working in animation anymore. Maybe that's why. Like, why am I not hearing stuff about animation these days? Oh, right. Oh, relating to why AI won't work. Oh, interesting. Though, yeah, that's an interesting topic. I kind of feel like if the average moviegoer doesn't care that something's AI instead of hand animated CG, like the market will speak for itself. We'll see. It'd be interesting. Yeah, that whole topic is fun in general. Just AI. I was talking to someone the other day about just reading about how like YouTube is being taken over with like AI slop and stuff like that. Just like starting to be massive amounts of AI video just kind of everywhere. And like, what is that going to do? Is it just going to like drown out anything made by humans? Is like nobody ever going to trust a video anymore? Like, what is the end result of all this going to be? Sorry, getting off on weird conversation tangents here. Oh shoot! Sorry, did I? Wow. Sorry, I should make this. Let's just full screen it. Cool. Nice, nice. Yeah, looking forward to that. I love that. Yeah, that's a fun style. There was a period I remember where I feel like it was like 10 or 15 years ago where kind of pixel art just had like this renaissance. I feel like, or at least maybe that's just when I noticed it, but I feel like the industry kind of got to a point where you generally don't see pixels anymore, and so at some point it just became like pixel art had this like nostalgic feel. It's like people that collect vinyl stuff like that. It still has that for me. I feel like it's died down a bit. Um, maybe not, but yeah, it's still like if I see a super pixelated like Final Fantasy 3 looking character, it's just like oh, it takes me back. Love it. Whoa. Intense. Hopefully, it doesn't say bad stuff there. No. Oh, this is a something I wanted to bring up, a slightly technical thing. As part of my mysterious thing that I am implementing for September, I might be wiring up like URL schemes, to where basically you can have a link that will take you to the game to maybe join a party or show you a replay or something like that. Does anyone have any fun ideas that we could do with URLs? Like if you were able to make yeah, like bomb squad colon slash slash something, like what would be cool to do with that? The obvious answer for me is like here's a link to join my squad once we have squads going. Um, but in the existing one, I mean, we could already maybe wire it up for like here's a link to join my private party or something like that, where it's basically like the party code is embedded in the link or something. Do you guys have any other? Or yeah, deep links, deep links. Sorry, I was saying URL schemes or whatever. I think that's the technical term on a particular platform, but yeah, like what? Throw out some ideas for deep links that we could wire up. I'd love to like do this in like a generic way, kind of at the ballistical level, and then Bomb Squad could use those for a few things. But then it also just be something that we could have available for other spin-off projects or whatever else. Um, so yeah, like here's a link to join a particular server. Like yeah, that could just be wired up for existing, yeah, existing static servers, or here's a link to join my private party, or here's a link to join my squad once squads are a thing. At some point, like, here's a link to watch a replay would be cool, except then we need replays to be all cloud-based. So if we ever get to that point, which I could see for squad mode, like, because everything will be cloud-based at that point. So that could be a cool thing. Just any other, like, off-the-cuff ideas you have. Like, what would be a cool thing to be able to share in a link? Maybe like your link to like your account profile, like, check out my cool swag or something. I don't know. Or your character, something. Okay, that's an interesting point. Like, away from mods to use it, or yeah, plugins. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, maybe plugins could just have a generic, like, if you just do like bomb squad / plugin / name of the plugin / whatever, and then the plugin can handle the whatever part. That could be interesting. Okay, I like that. Send info link. Okay. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that's a good point. That would be that could theoretically save me a lot of typing. um, cool, good idea. Yeah, whenever I'm diagnosing somebody or whatever, I'm always having to explain that. Okay, go to in the game, go to settings, advanced, send info, and then type this, and blah blah blah. That is okay. That is an interesting point. We don't want to do something where mods are going to accidentally allow arbitrary code execution. So I'm looking into this situation. On various platforms. Android has something for it. Like Apple has something for it. Windows, I think, has something for it. Just to see, like, I know I was looking into like the Apple options, and there's like a few different ones. There's like an arbitrary deep link where like you just handle the URL or something, and then there's some other one where it's supposed to be more secure. So I'm curious. I'll have to like see what that option is. Like what are the security implications of just allowing people to send you arbitrary commands? Like, are mods going to get in trouble with that? I always love there's like a smattering of comments like, what are you nerds talking about? What is this with the C++ and the HTTP? What? My brother always used to do that with me. I'd be like talking nerd stuff with like about computer hardware with friends, or just even about like gaming stuff, like gaming PCs. Like, oh man, this has like 4x AGP. And my brother would always be like, oh, so what AGP? What? Like, I don't know. He still says that to me to this day, I think. Like, just teasing me. 4x AGP, what? Team Fortress 2. Yeah, I have played, not a ton, but I have played Team Fortress 2. It was fun. I played more Half-Life 1 than I have Half-Life 2. I've seen Half-Life 2. I think maybe I've played a little bit. My roommate was playing all the way through Half-Life 2, so I've been around for it, but I don't think I've played it too much myself. Waiting for Half-Life 3. I've got let's see. Where is it? Got my Steam Deck here, so I'm all ready for Half-Life 3 once it's done. I don't know. Are there rumors to that effect? Are they? Is Half-Life 3 like rumored to actually be happening? Yeah, it's my Steam Deck. That is. I don't actually use it too much, but it's there as like inspiration to me to be like, why are you not on Steam yet? Hurry! So it's just hovering here, taunting me with its Steamness. Yeah, I guess there's probably been Half-Life 3 rumors since the dawn of time. When did Half-Life 2? I still, in my mind, that's still sort of recent, but that was what, like 2004 or 2003 or something like that? Half-Life 2? Yes, exactly. That is my rule for myself. I cannot turn the Steam Deck on until Bomb Squad is published. uh, no, I was actually I did play a little Half-Life, the original Half-Life on the Steam Deck. I think that's the first thing that I installed because there was some it was like free for a weekend or something. So I was like, oh cool, I'll bust this out for a little nostalgia. Um, but yeah, what I played most on it is, let's see, what do I? my biggest thing is, let's see, Stardew Valley. So really pushing the GPU on the Steam Deck. Speaking of endearing pixel art, oh, I feel like this statement is still true for like new players. I feel like pro players getting crazy with the physics and learning bouncing and like being able to do crazy jumps. Yeah, I guess large, or yeah, maybe just taking small out would work there. But I feel like a normal player who doesn't even like know about running and like you try to jump, like you can't actually jump over too much. You have to at least like run, and then yeah, to get like the crazy gaps, you gotta like yeah be doing crazy running around circles and like bouncing and who knows what else. Jump and spin. Yeah, so there's probably a decent amount of those tips that are like it's probably out of it probably needs to be updated after however many years it's been. What, 10 years? All right, one sec. I have to. The nerd in me has to check out my server, see how it's doing. I just made some tweaks to it like an hour or two ago, and I'm checking out like how many instances it's running. So let's do last 1 hour. Oh my gosh! Wow, it got. So BA Master for a while it was running off one server instance. That's crazy. That's super cool though. So there's all these like tweaks you can do for like when you're deploying a new revision of yeah, just various runtime options, maximum requests per instant, blah 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 blah. But yeah, 1 GB, 2 CPU. So I kind of beefed up the server a little bit too. Yeah, it's yeah 1 gig, 2 CPU, so kind of beefier. The server instances all used to be basically like 380 megabytes and like 25% of one CPU or something, so super slow. So now they're pretty beefy, but that's okay because that makes them more expensive. But if like the one server can handle most of the workload most of the time, then it like balances out, and it looks like that might be working. So the instance count, it was 2, and then for a while it was down to 1, back up to 2. That's super cool though. Yay! Latency is still very low. Nice. Yeah, everything is looking good. Woohoo! You can see if I go back to like 12 hours. Well, here you can see request count is growing throughout the day as it does. Here's where I was messing with stuff. So it was running like 4 instances all night. I messed with some settings. Whenever you switch things over, then it like bumps up the instances. I was 4, back down to 4, down to 3, down to 5, up to 8. And yeah, then I switched it up to like 2 CPUs instead of 1. And now it's down to like 2 and 1. So that's super cool. And it's probably cheaper also. CPU utilization's down. Yay. All right, anyway. Sorry. Oh yeah, someone should host. Is there someone in, let's say in Europe or, well, wherever really, but I notice whenever we host in America, there's a lot of people that seem to have bad lag, so I'm assuming most of you are over elsewhere. Fake trailer for Bomb Squad iOS. You're right, that would be too evil. I feel like I would worry about my safety at that point. Someone's gonna be like, "We do not joke about this, Eric." Someone will be like waiting outside my apartment with a baseball bat. Like, I've been over here with my iPhone 4 waiting for 10 years. Oh, here we go. All right, I see a code. I'm gonna hop in. See, if I had a URL, I could just click it. This is bringing up good points. 8HK R5. will remember to use my controller this time. Okay, here we go. Let's make some adjustments here. Move my head over here, move this up here. What? Is this a fake sock or did the real sock come back? The sock just hovering. Oops. Someone want to post the code again? No! Cristobal! Well done. Haha! So long, suckers! Oh. No! My moment of glory is past. We need blue shells. I want some Mario Kartism. All right, 1 second. I gotta get past the finish line so I can see what these questions are. Did I make this font myself? Yes, I did. I made that out of clay. I mean, I printed out like an existing font, and then it's very slightly modified. So I didn't like design the font myself. It's like a pretty standard font. I just made the clay version. I made, like I said, I think I made some very minor adjustments, but not too much. So the reason I was always playing with spaz is because I tend to be testing things, and so a lot of times I will just reset my inventory, which means that, you know, any custom character selections that I have get lost. So I think at some point I wound up like unlocking some stuff again, and yeah, at some point I was playing. So, oh yeah, I was playing with my nephew actually in Poland. We were playing a little bit, and so I wound up like unlocking a few things and setting my character to Easter Bunny for that case. So that's why it's a non-spaz. It's not that I'm like spaz is my favorite or anything. It was mostly just for technical reasons. Ah! I am thinking about a cat character now. It would be funny, just like you know, the crazy cat noises. Just from a. I'm not like a pro-cat person. I'm not an anti-cat person. I'm kind of neutral. But you know, cat noises can be funny, even if you're an anti-cat person. You know, it's kind of gratifying. You hear like. See, that will be good for squads mode when basically I still got to figure out how to do it, but my thought is like everyone's player tag, if you're in a squad, like your player tag will always be your account tag. There'll probably be some way to do like guest players or something like that, but they'll probably have like a icon or something just to show you that it's not. So the point is, like, if you see sock in a squads mode game, you'll know it's actually the sock account, you know what I mean? I feel like that would be good. Private server, yeah, it does try to use the nearest one. I would like to expose that as an option because there's probably cases where it makes the wrong choice. But yeah, based on like when you launch the game, it starts pinging all the regional servers around you and tries to figure out at any given time, it tries to know which one is closest to you, and that's the one it should be using. If anyone wants to like debug that, I can show you where to look that up. But yeah, basically it just tries to use the closest regional server. But there could be cases, I know, like, you know, for cases like this, it could be good to like specify the server too. Like if I wanted to host the game for times like this, I'd probably, you know, I could set it to, I don't know where it would be neutral for everyone, like somewhere in Europe. Or maybe like East Coast US but probably Europe would be better. I mean, there's lots of folks like in Asia and India and places. It's sort of like, it's so like weird to me thinking that, you know, latency and lag and all that, it's basically because of the speed of light, you know, so it's always so weird thinking like, oh, we're limited by the speed of light. If only light was a little faster. Or it's a little depressing to think like, you know, no matter what perfect system you built, like you could never play a game without lag against someone on the other side of the planet, you know? It's like, oh. North Korean servers. All right, I will just have to wait for Amazon to open some North Korean locations. I'll get right on that. Fake sock. Oh no. This was kind of an intended thing, like having like when you first come into a workspace, the workspace is not selected. It just tells you like select the workspace. I kind of wanted to do that just so people would realize that you can select the workspace, because otherwise, you know, you might see workspace settings and then you start futzing with like files in there and then you're like, where the heck were those workspace settings? Like I can't, how do I get to that? So that was my thought, is like by forcing people to select the workspace to see those settings, it would show them that that's an option that you can do, is like select the workspace and see settings on it. Does that make sense? Always open to feedback if folks feel differently. We can always have it like select the workspace by default, or disallow disallow it from like having nothing selected. Ah, it's never too late to learn. Ah! Is this, we have real sock in here? Oh man, this is like, or is that real sock? I never know anymore. Sure. Captain AJ, where are you at, geographically? Are other people having bad lag too? We could, I mean, I'm fine wherever. Like, this lag is not great for me, but I'm used to it. That's probably why I should add a location selection option, just so we can agree on something beforehand that's like, you know, works decent for everyone. Though I guess nothing's going to work decent for everyone. There's always going to be someone with bad ping. So the real solution is me getting client prediction working. Huh. Sorry, folks. Sorry, I'm slow. It's my flag. Never mind. Must be the real sock. He demolished me. Oh, Cristobal again. Well, the party op, that's it. That is how squads mode will work, theoretically, is like, yeah, just have everyone join your squad and then like poke play. Like, we want to just play a random game. And then the server will, like, that will be interesting though. Like, I got to figure out, because I will basically, I'll know where everyone is roughly and which servers are close to who. So it'll be an interesting like tech question of like, where do you host the game automatically? Like, do you just pick the server that has like the average lag for everyone to that server is the lowest, you know? I guess maybe that's the right question, or yeah. Bah! Where to start on BS modding? At this point, I would just hang out on the Discord server. I think ask questions there. There's still, I mean, I'm really hoping to get to a point when squads mode comes together where I can do some proper tutorials on how to like mod stuff for squads mode. But I feel like the state of like official tutorials right now is not great. It's more just, I think it's a good idea to just, yeah, ask, or look for examples around here, or ask people like, hey, can you show me a good example mod or something, or just ask for feedback. I haven't checked lately. I would be curious if things like ChatGPT were starting to like know Bomb Squad modding at all. Like, if there's enough of it out there that, I think when I last asked it a few years ago or something, it was giving me some of the old like Python 2 examples, or, you know, stuff that's like way out of date. That's another incentive though to like keep the APIs stable, is that like if things like ChatGPT and stuff slowly learn the APIs, then people can ask them questions and they will, you know, provide correct answers. Whereas if I'm changing the APIs constantly, you'll probably get like out of date stuff. I mean, it's still likely to do that anyway because it's not a hugely hugely widely used thing, but oh, nightly build CI. Oh, is that okay? Yeah, there's been nightly something broken for a while. I haven't looked into that since I've been in the middle of this server migration, but yeah, the Z standard thing would make sense. So yeah, if we could get that fixed, yeah, if you could fix that, that's awesome. Oh, is that nightly CI on your stuff? Or this is not. There is something broken on GitHub for like nightly something. Maybe you're not talking about that though. On upstream, okay. But yeah, regardless, yeah, we should get that all taken care of. I'm excited to have the Z standard stuff available. That seems like a pretty cool library. It seems to have like way better speed than, you know, the old like tar gzip, you know, gzip stuff that I've been relying on for most things. Also, it sounds like it's nice that it has a lot of settings in terms of like you can tweak the, if you want like fast good compression, you can do that, or you can do like really slow, slightly better compression. You know, it's like a nice knob you can turn. So yeah, plus it's built into the next version of Python, so that's going to be super cool. So I'll probably start relying on that for like anytime the game is sending data to and from the master server, like a lot of data. It'll probably just use Z standard because it'll be should be way speedier than the old stuff. And since the game is all you know, pretty uniform in its version of Python, like we can kind of rely on that, so that's good. Oh man, you can tell I've been talking because I mean, not that my scores are good even when I'm not talking, but they're extra bad right now. No, I'm so sorry. No, Cristobal, no! Oh. Shucks. Yes, Cristobal. Look this, what? If they let me. It's like, I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay, do something awesome. What the heck was that? Holy moly. Oh my gosh, you people are like crazy physics wizards. How does this even happen? So what are you doing there? Just like busting out a bomb like in the wall to get like the launching effect? Whatever it is, that was cool. Oh, I love it. Don't detonate. Yeah, I remember. I'm trying to remember the materials for the bomb. There's some clause there where they don't. I mean, those are regular bombs, I think, right? Or were those, you know, impact bombs? But yeah, there's some clause where even like the impact bombs, I think they don't blow up like immediately if they impact something. Because I know there was issues with when I was testing impact bombs, like you'd whip it out and it would blow up on your head like instantly. So I feel like I added some sort of clause to make them like not blow up for the first half second or something like that. I don't remember. Ah! Bah! Favorite Pixar movie I worked on. It might be a tie. Well, shoot. There's three that stand out. It's hard to say which is my favorite. Let's see. Ratatouille was awesome to work on. That was like my first one I worked on. So that one was special just because it was like, you know, like, ooh, this is fun. Plus, it's a neat movie. Up is definitely one of my favorites. Like I did like all the stuff with balloons. I did so much like simulation stuff there. That was the first one where I really felt like I was, you know, having a good impact on the movie. Yeah, Ratatouille was a little bit more like my learning period. And then Toy Story 3 was another one where, yeah, it was a really fun team on Toy Story 3, and it was just like, it was super cool working on a Toy Story movie. You know, it just kind of felt special. So those three. I don't know if I could pick a favorite out of those three, but they're tied for first. Do you guys have a favorite out of out of those three movies? Which one do you enjoy the most? Ratatouille, Up, or TS3? What? Oh. Yeah. Like that's kind of. I mean, I'm kind of. It's funny with the beginning of Up. You know, it makes everyone cry. It's funny how it was like that even at the beginning. You know, like when the crew we'd go and see the reels. You know, it's just like drawings and rough boards of what the movie's going to be, and you could just tell like that beginning scene. Like even though it was just like sketches, it was still just like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. So I remember if you watch Up, there is. So I did a lot of balloons, like I said. There's that sad scene where his wife passes. I hope I'm not ruining the movie if you haven't seen it. But like that montage sequence, and the very last shot of that is like him closing, like walking into his house and pulling a balloon behind him, and you see the balloon kind of like disappear in the door. So I simulated that balloon, and so I was working on that shot, and I remember just like I was so sad working on that shot. It was just like this old guy like going into the house and pulling this little balloon, and I'm trying to simulate the balloon, but it was just like I felt like it was just like 2 days of sadness, like simulating that balloon. Anyway, so yeah, it was fun movie to work on, and it's cool that it has those like impactful parts that make people sad. When do I check DMs? When I'm on here, which is not very often lately, just because I've been heads down with the server stuff. I'll try to do a swoop through after. Probably, if you want to contact me with DMs, probably the best time is Coffee with Eric Day, either like maybe like right after. I usually try to poke through. So if you message me like right after this ends, I'll try to get back to you. Beyond that, I should come up with some schedule, just like give myself 10 minutes in the morning to check DMs. The problem is, and this is my fault as well as much as anyone's, is whenever I hop on here, I feel like I start chatting, and you know it turns into a little like mini side quest in itself. Like, oh hey, I think I'll fix this on the server, and you know people mention like something that's broken, then I'll try to fix that. So I feel like hopping on Discord is like a scary proposition for me because I have to, you know, it winds up being like a 2-hour thing or something. I need to like force myself to be more businesslike. Just get on here and check DMs, respond, and get back to work or something. Like, hello, goodbye. Bomb Squad remote, impressive. I still, it's on my never-ending to-do list to get Bomb Squad remote updated. It'd be great to have like Bluetooth connectivity or, you know, something where hopefully we could cut down on latency there. Because it's so dependent on like having a good Wi-Fi network, which is, I mean, I guess Wi-Fi networks are probably better than they used to be, but you can have kind of a laggy experience. Wait, what? Did I hear? I saw something about Cars 2. No bad mouthing Cars 2. Honestly, Cars 2 was really fun to work on. You know, it's not my favorite movie at the end of the day. It's just kind of silly, but like working on it, like the team was really fun. Like it was. I was on the effects team, and we got to do just a bunch of just fun visual effects and blow things up and, you know, stuff like that. So it was just a fun, goofy, like action movie. So I half jokingly, half seriously defend Cars 2 whenever it comes up. You know, it's always like, everyone always mentions it as like the unloved stepchild of Pixar or something, but it's like, no, I I have a good spot in my memory for that movie. Oh, yes. I won't ask if you're spying on my IMDb page. When is 1.8 coming? Well, like I said, I have this cool opportunity that should be September-ish. I want to get as much purposeful, or there's a few things I need to get done for them, but I'd like to get as much as I can done for them. So it'd be awesome to get the full 1.8 release then, but we'll see. So I still can't really give a real date for sure, but tentatively September. Just depends on how many side quests I get sucked into. It's always the side quests. Um, I probably can tell everyone about the thing soon. It's more, I'll know more about it soon. I probably shouldn't, yeah, I shouldn't say anything more about it yet. Oh, does someone have the party code? Looks like we got someone trying to get in, though I don't know if there's any slots. That makes me think, like for squads mode, well, or like in some situation, it makes me wonder if like it'd be cool to have the party code just like show up on screen, you know, just so people watching the stream could hop in. Maybe that could be an option. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oop. Ah! Putting it down. Yes, Captain AJ? NBC, oh, is that the party code? Or some cool online speak I'm not aware of? Raffle now. Yeah. My coffee is getting low, so I mean, good. It's probably good. We're technically coming up on the 2 hour mark, because yeah, if I run out of coffee, I slump down on my chair and I lose consciousness. It's terrible. All right, I just took a sip. I'm good. Ah. Yeah, that is a running button. That, yeah, I do feel like that is close to the top of the request list for, yeah, mobile players. A running button. Maybe, like, it makes me wonder if that would be, like, should be an option, like, something you opt into, if that would make it too complicated for, like, newbies. Or if that would be something, like, that would actually help newbies, you know? Oh, no. Okay, I will, I'll try to... I have not rejected your friendship. I apologize. I just have not accepted it. It's probably sitting there waiting for me. I'll take a look through my my invite list right after this. Cool, cool. Oh. I love how deathmatch on this level is like, for me, it's always hard to like get positive. Come on, get back to 0. It's my goal. Yes, I'm at 0. All right, life complete. Oh, almost got to 1. Oh, Cristobal, he's at it again. 14. Dang. So yeah, on the running button, do you guys feel like you would use, who feels, do y'all feel like you'd use a running button? Any of you who use touchscreen controls? I was thinking it could be just like a ring around the other buttons, or just a random button off to the side. I'm wondering like what would be good. I would like to do that actually. I was thinking about, yeah, having some sort of, yeah, like touchscreen layer that exposed in Python, and then all the touchscreen controls could be built on top of that. It'd be super cool just to like let people then make customized button layouts or something like that, you know? The downside is if that layer is too customizable, then people will be making like rapid fire buttons and things like that. Though I guess you could argue maybe we should just allow that. I don't know. But I guess I could write the API in a way where like you couldn't make like a rapid fire button or like some sort of like auto control thing. Basically just an API to like position and move buttons. It wouldn't actually like influence pressing those buttons. So that'd probably be fine. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to allow some customization there. And then my thought would be to use that same layer for like a revamped Bomb Squad remote, where the Bomb Squad remote would basically just be an app that's nothing but those controls. So it'd literally be the same controls in the game itself as in the remote app, which would be kind of cool. You know, you could maybe customize each one in the same way or something. Oh, gloves mesh texture. Yeah, that would be cool too. Remember everyone, like once, before 1.8, save up your little list of your wish list, since we have to do the protocol change. Let's try to get some of that stuff in there for when the 1.8 switch happens. I am dead. I drink coffee. That's an interesting topic, like custom skins. In a way, like it'd be cool, like, yeah, to have, yeah, custom gloves, skins, things like that. But I also, like, I don't know if it'd be good to, like, reserve that sort of customizations for mods. Like, if you want some weird, crazy gloves that, you know, like, freeze your opponent, like, you'd want to have those look, like, different. So if we had, like, you know, crazy looks for the normal gloves, that might be confusing with custom gloves, too. I don't know which would be the better way to go. Oh. Bye. Bye, Ashton. Dang it, Stacy, come back. Oof. Updates on the texture format situation. That's one of those things. Yeah, that's definitely up on my to-do list. Like finally, like all the work I've been doing on workspaces and asset packages and stuff like that. I should be switching over here at some point soon. I think, yeah, there was like still a question on the format for. I'm trying to remember. It was a very particular question, right? It was, oh yeah, it was like using DDS files versus like FBX or what was the, I forgot the, I'm blanking on the texture container formats right now. Or KTX, yeah, not FBX. FBX is that's like a 3D file, I think. Yeah, I think where I wound up was that it looked like DDS did not officially support ASTC, but if it's something that works, if there's like unofficial support, it would be cool to have like one format that for all textures. But yeah, not sure if that's feasible. It just comes down to like, I need to see what tools work with what. Not that I plan on using, or not that I will be using those tools or anything. It's just like if people want to mess around or see what's in the textures. I don't want to do some format that is like not officially a thing. And it'd be great to have the same format everywhere. So yeah, we'll see. I could also just, you know, like do my own format, like Bob sort of thing, where it's like Ballistica texture, BT, just BT or something. But the bummer there is that, you know, then none of those textures will be editable. You'd have to just like write a little code to extract the texture data and write it to a file or something. So it probably would make sense to use an existing format. I don't want to use PNG though. So the whole thing with, I mean, the whole reason for having GPU compressed textures is that you can load them straight into the GPU. So if you have a PNG, it's compressed, but it's like basically like a zip file where you got to use the CPU to extract that file into a full image, and then you can send that full image to the GPU. But it's going to take up a lot of space. Whereas like ASTC or those texture formats, you can like send them compressed to the GPU, and they take up less space on the GPU. So that's like basically the whole reason for those formats. It's way better than just doing like PNG. I mean, it could be cool to support PNG as an option, but in any case where like I'm compiling a asset package anyway, like I'd rather compile it into like the most optimal format, whatever's gonna load the fastest and be most optimal to display. And so for that, it's like DDS or ASTC or whatever. What are you talking about? Made by Kronos Group? KTX? KTX is a Kronos Group thing, right? If I remember the conversation before, it was basically like right now there's KTX files for Android which contain ETC2 or ETC1 textures. In the new like the new world that will be, instead of ETC2, it's going to be ASTC, which is much nicer, I think. It's just a question of like, is that still going to be a KTX file, or someone mentioned, I think, like a DDS file, like direct draw surface files, which I think are more widely supported by tools in some cases. But the problem I was saying is that I think DDS does not technically support ASTC texture data, you know. So I could still use DDS files for like the BTC texture compression, which is like PC and, you know, desktop systems and stuff. But I can't necessarily use DDS files for ASTC compression. If you're following all that. So what my current thought is it might still wind up being KTX files with ASTC textures for mobile, and DDS files with like BTC textures for desktop. Right now I forgot what my existing pipeline uses. For compressing ETC1 and ETC2, it uses, I don't remember. I'd have to dig in. It's some compressor, some pretty standard compressor for ETC stuff. But I don't like it at all. I don't like ETC. It compresses so slow, and it doesn't look amazing. The only thing is it's supported, like it's a standard, so any OpenGL ES3 hardware supports it. But ASTC sounds like it's basically supported by just about everything. And so if I have like a fallback case where the few things that don't support it, it'll just, you know, decompress that into like smaller uncompressed textures. Like that's my plan. So I think basically ASTC should be a great option for most everyone on mobile. And then the BC7, I think, like the newer desktop format, should be a great option for everyone on like desktop. So like Mac, PC, stuff like that. So I think that should cover most of the whole spectrum. But no, I haven't made that change yet. So that'll definitely be there for 1.8. That's one, you know, I want to have the game use only asset packs for everything. And I do not want to implement ETC in asset packs. I want to be, it'll still work, it'll still load, I think, you know, but I don't want to support that going forward. That'll just be like a legacy thing. So if you're making an asset pack, well, that's part of the point of asset packs too, is like you shouldn't care about the format. You basically, your client will automatically download the right format of the asset pack, you know. So if you're on desktop, you'll get like the BC7 version. If you're on mobile, you'll get the ASTC version. But on the back end, I don't want any of those versions to be ETC, if I can help it. Oh gosh, it's Crystal, run away! Come, no, I'm staying away from you. Learn my lesson. Where's it? Okay. Oh, there's Stacy again. Oh, geez, Stacy. Oh no, you had so much to live for. So overriding textures and meshes used by the engine. This is something that will definitely be possible for like spin-off projects. So like at the static level. So there's two different concepts really. There's like the built-in assets, which is kind of the only thing you can do with asset packages right now is you can use them for built-in assets. But there's also like the downloadable ones. It's hard to say exactly how it'll work, but probably for now, like downloadable asset packs will pretty much only be usable for like the in-game context. So it's not like if you join a server that you won't be able to like join a server and have them like change how your windows look, you know? For that, you'd have to probably do something more still like download a total conversion mod. But that total conversion mod should be able to use asset packs, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm going down weird tangents here. So yeah, ideally, I think it would be good to be able to like download mods that could change your UI using asset packs. Um, that'd be cool. Not 100% if that'll be supported out the gate, or if it'll if asset packs will be limited to basically like, you know, in-game stuff. But yeah, that is something I would like to support. I just want to do it in like a safe way or a sane way, you know, like overriding game assets. Just make sure it's not going to like break stuff. All right, on that note, well, it looks like we're a few minutes over again, so I'm gonna hop out. But it's been fun. Oh, and look, I have this new leave game option since input is fixed. So yeah, good times, good times. Error happens. Merp, import failed. Cannot import name player T from. Huh. I'd have to check out the playlist. There might be some weird thing where like player T got. Yeah, player T is used for like type checking, so it's kind of like. If you can go into your config file and or if you can find like the printout of this playlist, it should just, you know, be like a Python list full of like dictionaries or something like that. Like if you see player T show up somewhere in that printout, like that's probably the problem. This might be a bug somehow. Oh, you use playlist code? Okay. If you can give me like a repro case for it, like if you could give me like that actual playlist and like repro steps, like here, you create this playlist, try to host a game using this playlist, and it'll give you this weird error or something. I can try to reproduce that. Aw, thank you. Awesome to hear it. Dang, wow. 4 to 15, that is that is a long time. Yeah, it's. I always mention I feel like two feelings when people say like, "Oh, I've been playing your game since I was a kid." You know, for one, that's awesome, but on the other hand, it's like, "Oh man, I didn't realize this game is so old. This game's been out so long. It's people have like grown up while I'm still working on 2.0." Release video play. And sock, nice. Oh, I love hearing about that when like people play with their families and stuff. There's been a few emails and things I've gotten where people just talk about like, oh, I like thanks for making this. There's one like a dad said like it brought me closer to my daughter because we like played this game together or something. So like that was it's very one of those things where like, oh, that is like a good reason to keep working on this stuff is like you hear cool things like that. Oh, well, it's fun to play with all you guys too. I hope you're not disillusioned at how badly I did. Most of that is because I'm just not very good. Some of it is because of the lag, and some is because I'm like trying to talk about the game while I'm playing. But it was fun to play. Yeah, these are all, yeah, the client reloads all assets once they join. That, if that is safe to do, that could be fun. You know, if you just have, joining a game, like boom, you see a different looking UI. Still seems a little scary. There's always a chance that, I mean, technically they could abuse that by, you know, changing the meshes so that your UI just doesn't show up anymore. So you join a server and you like literally can't get out of it because you can't see anything on your screen. I mean, we would just need to try to make sure that it's not going to, you know, have malicious options. Anywho, though, for now, I'm going to hop off. I'll try to linger around a little bit, respond to some folks, accept some friend requests, things like that. But it's been fun, everybody. If you have any last thoughts, questions, comments, now's your time. You have like 10 seconds. I was decently good at, I think, like single player co-op stuff when I was developing the campaign and all that. I'd be playing so much, so I think I got decently good. But I've never And I hope to play more multiplayer while developing squads mode, because that's like I've never been happy with the online multiplayer that's in there now. So I feel like I've never been comfortable playing it. But I think squads mode, I want that to be something I am proud of and comfortable with. So hopefully I will play more. I don't know if I'll get good enough. I mean, I'm old. Like I was reading. I mentioned this before. I was reading for like competitive gamers. Like by the time you're 22 or 23, like you're over the hill. Like you've passed your peak response times, stuff like that. And so I'm way past 22 at this point. So yeah, I'm never going to be able to compete with y'all youngsters and your fast reflexes. uh, any progress with inventory stuff? Oh my gosh, there's no progress with inventory stuff, unfortunately. But yes, like I said, there is something on the horizon coming up in September. I will hopefully have some good progress that I will be have a fire lit under my butt to kind of get pieces in place by then. So I'm excited. So I'm going to I'll respond to some folks here and then get the video uploading, and then I'll get back to work on all that good stuff. So too many new questions coming. I do want to make some new characters, yeah, but I do plan to make some fun variations of existing characters too. So it's kind of a balance. It's like I don't want to overwhelm the game with new characters, because then it's like it doesn't feel like there's like standards, you know. It's nice to have some like familiar faces around, just like different spins on them. So it'll be a balance. So anywho, all right, I'm gonna bounce. So good chatting with y'all, and I will talk to you folks in the next episode or online here. So peace out, everyone.